Jet Rose for the Times-Picayune and NOLA.com here at Woodlawn High School with Javin Myers, about to be a junior running back for the Panthers off a fantastic sophomore year, obviously, and you got that Tulane offer, I guess, around winter time, your sophomore year. And as we kind of get into the summer, what's it been like transitioning? You had that first year where we talked a little bit just now about the transition of just moving from Georgia to Louisiana, getting used to the bigger school and all those things. With that year under your belt, what's this summer been like, just starting to prepare for your second year? What have been some of the things you've been kind of focused on?
I've just been focused on getting stronger and bigger and trying to get my speed up. Yes, sir.
What is your speed like right now in terms of, I guess, like what's a 40 time or any of those type of deals?
40 time, I run a 4.4.
Yeah, so the speed's pretty good already, but still working on it?
Yes, sir.
How different do you feel, because you were saying you moved around June of last year to Louisiana, how different does it feel here a year later, just being a little bit more comfortable with your surroundings, knowing a lot of the coaches and stuff like that? Is it a pretty noticeable difference from a year ago?
Yes, sir. I feel really comfortable. At first, it was hard trying to adjust, but now I feel right into the school.
Were you at all surprised how big of a role you played here last year? Because a lot of times, I mean, guys will come from out of state, and the people here might not know what to expect, but you had started in Georgia as a freshman. Was last year about what you expected? You surprised yourself at times, or how would you kind of evaluate your sophomore year?
I expected it because, like, when we was in pads, I would always make big plays and dominate the other kids, so I knew I could play with these guys.
What was the first reaction? You mentioned getting a pretty good sense that you were going to be able to play a big role in your first day in pads here. What was some of the reaction like from some of the teammates and coaches realizing, okay, like, we got a guy that's going to do some things?
They were shocked because I didn't really talk much, so they really didn't know what I can do. So I just had to show it on the field.
You always been pretty quiet?
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure adjusting to not only a new school but a new state is probably all that much more difficult in terms of that, huh?
Yes, sir.
But yeah, obviously, fantastic year. At the end of it, you get the Tulane offer. And what was that like to be a sophomore? We're talking about it. I mean, it's been kind of a dream of yours to play college football, to get an offer from a place like Tulane that early on. What were the emotions like and the reaction like?
At first, I was shocked. I walked to the office, and Coach Drayton said he wanted to give me a full scholarship. So I was shocked because I really wasn't getting no college recognition like that. So, yes, sir. And I just thank God for it.
Had you heard a lot from Tulane before, or they just kind of saw you at a game or on film or something, and that was kind of one of the first real big steps in the relationship? Or
I guess they saw me on film because when I first got here this June, I did go to the Tulane camp. That was my first camp I went to, and I guess they saw me over the season.
Who have been some of the other schools that you've heard a lot from since then? I know you had just went to Louisiana Tech for a camp pretty recently. Who have been some of the other schools you've heard from?
ULL, Southern Miss, TCU. It's been a couple of schools.
A lot of the schools you mentioned in Louisiana. What's your thoughts on a lot of guys here will want to play for LSU or Tulane or something because it's been the schools they've seen growing up. You just got here a year ago. Do you have any thoughts on that of location being at all a role for you down the road? Are you a guy that, I mean, you'd like to play in Louisiana or close to Louisiana, or you still have ties in Georgia, or does any of that really matter when it comes to figuring out a school?
No, sir. I'm just trying to find a school that's best for me.
Are there any things that you're already looking at from any of the schools, or knowing that you still have 2 years left, you're not really getting into that hashing out this school versus that school yet?
No, sir. I'm just trying to keep working hard and see what I can get.
Going forward in the summer, do you have much more in terms of travel plans already lined up and know that you get into this camp or that camp or anything, or still figuring that out?
No, sir.
Yeah. You guys have a new head coach this year, but he's a guy that y'all are familiar with from last year. Do y'all see much difference in terms of expectations or anything with him, or it's just kind of a continuation?
His expectations is much more higher. Yes, sir.
How's the he's a guy that's he's known Coach Beard for a long time. Do you notice a lot of similarities in them in terms of personalities or the way they do things or anything like that?
Yes, sir. But I would say Coach Leggett, he's not as strict. I wouldn't say strict, but he's not as Coach Beard.
I'm trying to think, because he's pretty intense too. We just saw him at the end of practice get pretty intense. So he's got that too. Any more thoughts on the college stuff though, and I guess what you're hoping to see moving through the recruiting process, or what you're hoping to prove from yourself? You mentioned in terms of football wise, you'd like to get faster, get stronger. What are some of the things these college coaches seem like they like about you already, and what are some of the things that you think you can still grow on while you're here? Is it those same type of things?
Like, I see they like how I put my foot in the ground and get upfield, and my speed and my vision. That's what they like.
Javin Myers over here getting ready for his junior season at Woodlawn. Already got a Tulane offer, got a bunch of other schools looking at him. Maybe some more offers still to come. And for NOLA.com and Tom Speak Union, Jared Roser.